stealing things. And within APA, they give us lots of ways to give credit to the author, the person who came up with this idea or found this research or developed this approach to things. So we're going to go a little further into what APA really looks like, the components of it, and how to recognize the different parts and pieces. Whereas last hack, we talked more about the writing process and how to take all that information in and then move it around and then present it as a finished product that, yes, we helped manipulate, but we did not originate. And there are differences between those. So I want to start with just a quick little funny for you. So here's a little cartoon for you. So the question is, how do you cite a tweet that includes a reference to a Pinterest post inspired by an infographic initially announced via Facebook Live? Okay, this is obviously a silly and not a question we would actually ask within APA. But the reason that I wanted to bring it up is if you stray from using scholarly sources, this is the kind of stuff you run into. So when we are working at the graduate level and we are wanting to make sure that our information and our knowledge is at a higher level of not only understanding, but reliability and validity, we can't be going to somebody's blog and somebody's Facebook post and a little Pinterest page. We need scholarly resources, and that's where our library comes into play, and Google Scholar. If you've never used Google Scholar, woo, that's a change. Not Google, Google Scholar. You can put it in your search bar and it'll come up, but that little search bar that it gives you once you open up that platform only accesses scholarly peer-reviewed research for you. So make sure you know that the resources that you're working with are really worth your time and energy. Okay, so let's get into APA. There are some words in APA that people interchange, but I really want you to know the difference between the two. There's a difference between APA style and APA format. So let's start with style. Style is that you are writing from a narrative third person voice. It's objective. You're reporting information. So third person, let's stop right there. Stay with me, stay with me. Third person means I don't write, I really like blah, 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 or you should blah, blah, blah. That's first and second person. Those are information and conversations happening. Third person means I am out here as the narrator telling you and disseminating to you the information that I have discovered. According to Smith, 2008, business leaders who practice these skills, blah, 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 I'm just reporting it out. You never address your reader and you avoid personal pronouns unless you've been specifically asked to provide a reflection of some sort, maybe an application of something that your professor or your coursework has reviewed. So understanding that the style you're writing in, a lot of people say, well, why? Why does it matter? Can't I say I and you and we and us? No, because you are learning how to write at a higher level of not only professional writing, but also being able to explain what you have learned and read in a way that is very, should we say, polished, right? So if a junior hire comes into my room and goes, dude, I just read this amazing book and like this character does like this and then like they go here and then like, well, that is very interesting. But you know what? That is not professional or scholarly, but that's appropriate for a middle schooler. We want professional scholarly writers, and that will help you not only in the business world, but also making sure that what you're saying or what you're writing about and reporting out to your instructor is in a format that can be compared with your peers. So if we all do the same style, then the information we're sharing can be judged instead of how we share the information. Hopefully that makes sense. APA format is all the little tweaks and settings and document issues that really can cause problems if you have formatting wrong from the beginning. Everything is double spaced, always, always, always. 12-point Times New Roman. Some instructors are fine with like an Arial or a Courier, a font that is consistent across platforms. I ask my students to just stick with Times New Roman. It's safe. You always indent your paragraphs unless you've been asked to write an abstract. Typically, abstracts are only included in works like a dissertation or at the end of your master's program if you have to write a thesis of some sort. Abstracts are very clear about not being indented and being a certain length in words. One space after punctuation, and there's no extra space between your paragraphs. That's something in Word that a lot of people miss, but in your paragraph button at the top of your Word document, you can go in there and say, do not add extra spaces between paragraphs. Your headings are in bold, you utilize in-text citations, and you always have a reference page with hanging indent. Just to clear things up here, you can't list things on your reference page that you didn't cite in your paper. You got to use those references before you can list them. So, style, format. Let's talk about some of these formatting things. Let's check out our title page. Your title page should look exactly like this every single time with an updated title of the assignment and, of course, an updated date. Notice we don't use running heads in the 7th edition of APA. Get rid of those running heads, and that page number needs to be over on the right. You can Google this exact same graphic and see it, but what I would suggest is create a title page that is correct and utilize that again and again with each of your assignments. Let's talk about headings for a minute. These provide organization for your paper. They provide direction for your paragraph that you're going to write. You should only utilize these if the length of your paper or the instructions from your professor necessitate it. So if you're writing a one-page reflection on how a strategy played out in a small group that you led, probably not going to need any headings. In fact, you don't even have to have a title because that's why you have a title page. So make sure when you think through your headings that they have a purpose and that they help provide organization and clarification about what information is going to be addressed in each paragraph or section of your paper. Now we're getting to the big dirty stuff, citations. Citations, there are two ways to do them, parenthetical or narrative. Here's the only difference. One comes at the end of the sentence or paragraph, one comes at the beginning. Oh, isn't that great? Usually narrative has some sort of a prefix before it to introduce it. So according to Alexander 2018, comma, right? I'm giving credit to the source where I got this from, or I can rewrite everything, remember, paraphrase everything in, and then at the end of the sentence, put in a parenthetical citation, and the punctuation comes after the parentheses. You can't have a parenthetical citation just hanging out in your paper. We got to know what information it goes with. So here are some examples of in-text citations. This one includes a page number that you can see here. Not everyone uses page numbers. In my classes, and according to most APA journals, you only use a page number if utilizing a quote. Page numbers typically are not required in APA, but check with your instructor and see what they like and what they agree with. You'll notice here's the very beginning one. Allen, 2020, explored whether there was truly life on Earth. In her study, she found blah, blah, blah. Another study from Educational University included similar data. Oh, look at that. There is that citation from a different source that is after. Parenthetical versus narrative. I hope you don't have any questions. I don't see anything in the chat box, but holy moly, I'm talking fast. So if you have a question, post it. Here we go. Let's talk about those quotes and citations, shall we? So quote, you use a signal phrase typically to set things up. You got the author's last name and the year of publication. You have a comma, quotation marks. You write your quotation, no ending punctuation. No, don't you even think about it. You're just going to put those quotation marks. Then you're going to put the page number and then you're going to. Here's the thing. You better have read this. You don't get to quote somebody who quoted somebody who quoted somebody. You go back to that original source. APA says you read it, you saw it, you found it, and now you've given credit to the creator. All right, citations and references, that can be kind of confusing, right? Citation is what happens in the body of your paper. That's in your writing. References, very end of the paper, last page. A citation in your paper, and I'm sorry, it's kind of grainy, looks like this. Becker, 2012, Lee and Mikado, hey, or McAdoo, there's Julie's name, wrote a blog post about APA style. And then on the reference page, oh, look, yellow, yellow, blue, blue, purple, purple. I have to reference it if I cited it. We don't use titles of the textbook or titles of the study. Nope, just author's last name, year of publication. The new APA has said that we only have to use the first author's last name in our in-text citations, and then we can put the et al after it. And I don't think I have an example of that in here. I should grab one. But the old way used to be if it was a certain number of authors or more, you had to do a certain number or whatever. Now they're just saying put one in, and guess what? If I want to know more about that resource, I can go to your reference page and figure all about it. Isn't it lovely? All right, guys, introductory phrases are used. Here's just a great example. Okay, I've kind of thrown a bunch of things in here. This is your in-text citation. This is your narrative one, right? Then we have this lovely quote right here. And then we have our page number that shows exactly where that quote came from this source. Then we paraphrase things. Oh, and then we have a parenthetical citation. What do you know? And then on your reference list, we don't put the word list, by the way, just references. And then we have everything in alphabetical order, double spaced, hanging indent. Any questions? We're good? All right, guys, so let's move on to the good stuff. I've got some sources here for you. OWL Purdue, APA Style Guide, and the Ganglish Library here at Ottawa. I just want to show you a couple charts that are here. It's pretty awesome. OWL Purdue, OWL stands for Online Writing Lab. There's a citation chart, and there's a difference between professional and student examples, but don't just look at the examples and copy them. I want you to be really careful about that because some things are a little different. For instance, they have an abstract in here as well. Sorry, I should have had these pulled up already. Where is my, oh, look, this is using citation generators. Yeah, don't trust those all the time, okay? Trust me, it doesn't always work. Here's a lovely poster that you can print off that you can look at. It just goes over the formatting pieces, the in-text citations. There's the basics of it. Or work with two authors or work with three or more. Oh, there's that at all. So we did have an example of it. What do you know? All right, references. Here's some basic things, how to do a book, a chapter. They've even got a YouTube video in here. So hey, if it works for you, fantastic. And there are examples. Shoot. Go here. Here's your major paper sections. There's your title page. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you. This is a student APA title page. All right, you got it all there. This is a professional paper APA title page. And I want you to see that it has a running head at the top. It also has author notes here. You're not writing professional papers. You didn't go do a longitudinal study. You have not gone out. I mean, if you have, I'm really happy for you. But that means you should be working with grant money and somebody's publishing your work for you. In classes at Ottawa, typically, you are a student who is reporting out the findings that you have within your research. All right, I don't see any questions in the chat. I'm going to wait here for just a minute. Fair warning, you definitely do not want to just simply sit there on your phone listening to this. You want to pay attention because we're going to have some interaction here in just a minute. Here's the APA Style Guide. I love this site because it has everything on it that you would ever need. The guidelines are organized in different ways. Here's a reference example. Here's a format. Oh, there's a title page setup. What do you know? You just go there and it's going to give you everything you need. Oh, bias-free language, sample papers. Isn't that great? Google search APA style or apastyle.apa.org, and that's where you'll find everything there. And last one, our lovely library and wonderful job that they have done. If you go to the bottom, okay, I just want to point out that this is the chair in my office. They use that for that picture. I know you care. You go down here and you go to the Ganglish Library. Can't see. And you go here to Research Help. And from Research Help, you go to Citing Sources. And from Citing Sources, you go to APA. Everything you need is here. Gloria's done an amazing job putting all of this together. There are even ways to contact people to get a little extra help. All right, guys, so last piece for today. You are going to be held accountable for going to this lovely meeting, so make sure you get credit for things. You have a couple options. You can either scan the QR code that is on your screen, or I'm going to put a link in the chat box, which you can click. We're going to ask that you complete this survey today. It needs to be done today. It's very, very short. Asks you a little bit about your experience with these hacks, whether you'd like to see them continue, what information you'd like to hear more about, and it gets you credit for coming today. So don't blow it off. Scan this with your phone if you want to. You can fill it out on your phone. It's very, very short and quick, or you can click the link that is in the chat box. I know I went really fast today, but a lot of this is more about understanding what is out there and how to access it, and the how to use it and apply it kind of comes with you and your work in your courses. So thanks for being here today. And Courtney, that's really all I have. Didn't I do great? 22 minutes, man, I'm impressed.
You did do great. I'm impressed as well.
Woo, we're all worn out, but we made it.
And I'm also impressed that it was your chair that was used, so.
Thank you, thank you.
Do we have any questions, guys? Anything to ask Dr. Johnson while we have her here with us? If you do, you can either unmute yourself, you do have that ability, or just throw it in the chat here and I will read it for her. We do have one question. Can we bold some of the letters in the paragraph?
Oh, great question. No. No. No italics, no bold, nothing. We don't use quotation marks for emphasis, like we're not being sarcastic and silly. If you have an acronym, make sure you write out the entire acronym before utilizing it standing alone in a document. You cannot, only reason bold should be there is for your headings, that's it. We don't do colored font, we don't do any different sizes. APA is boring, but it allows for consistency and uniformity within your writing versus your peers. And that way the content is what shines, not your ability to use colored text. Great question.
Let's see, wait just a second, see if we have any others come through.
Yeah, highlighting, I see what Jason's saying.
Yep.
Highlighting the importance is just how you wrote it, right? You are telling us it's important because you chose to put it in your paper. You're the expert. You get to be the expert right now. Everybody should be going on, clicking that form link, use your phone, hold it up to the screen, camera, it'll open up that QR code right away and get you there. Give us your feedback. This is the most important part of a learning environment, that you are part of the process and that we hear from you and we improve because of your statements. Any other questions? APA, it's just so invigorating. If we were in person, I would have brought chocolate, I will tell you.
All right, I'm not seeing any other questions in there, Dr. Johnson.
Well, thanks you guys for your time. You're wonderful. And Courtney, I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you. All right, guys, thank you guys so much. I see a lot of familiar names in the chat, so I know you guys have been here with us for quite a few of these hacks. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day. I really hope you found them helpful. We are in talks about continuing this in some aspects on into the new year, so be watching your email for that. We also, from everyone here at Ottawa, want to wish you a happy, healthy holiday, you and your family, and we are always here if you need us. You can email me at emba@ottawa.edu, and I wish everyone a great day. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Dr. Johnson.